Sophie able to do.
Put me on the sideline and talk. That's about all. I'm ready to play. Sat over there and just talk the whole time. I'm going crazy. Yes, she's going crazy. Again.
Good job.
The WNBA is once again at the center of a massive online storm. A viral claim is spreading that Sophie Cunningham may be connected to a shocking $27 million Jordan brand deal, and that Caitlin Clark could somehow be connected to the story. But the real question is not simply whether Sophie received a huge endorsement. The bigger question is how one of the WNBA's most outspoken and controversial players suddenly became the center of a conversation involving Caitlin Clark, Michael Jordan, Nike, and the future of women's basketball.
Earlier this month that you'd be the Sabrina Carpenter to Caitlin's Taylor Swift. That was a joke, but I guess people really took that seriously. People love it. What excites you about playing with her this year?
I mean, you know, she has changed our game in the best possible way in every way. And so just to be alongside of her and maybe relieve the pressure, being able to shoot and spread the court for her to go do her thing. She's still young, and I think that
Sophie Cunningham has never been the type of player to quietly disappear into the background. She is emotional, physical, outspoken, and completely unafraid to express herself. Whether she is competing on the court, responding to criticism, or speaking about controversial issues, Sophie has always played with intensity. And that personality has made her one of the most recognizable players in the WNBA.
And you finding me $500 is not going to do shit.
Fuck yeah, that was a bar. That's a shirt.
Hot girls like to be fined.
Finding me $500 won't do shit. That's sick.
And then I'll get fined for that, and then I'll get fined for this, and then the fines continue. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Where do the rest come from?
I don't know.
It was a build up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting, the star player of the WNBA. And so, at the end of the day, I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do. And I'm a team player. So it's all good.
We were talking about like our first week, what people had to say. Well, the WNBA, fined me.
No! You got fined for episode 1?
Dude, they fined me $1,500.
If I'm not mistaken, like, all she said was talking about, the refs need to protect. I'm pretty sure. Was it not for her saying the refs need to protect Caitlin Clark? I'm pretty sure that's what she essentially said. The refs need to protect Caitlin Clark. And like Caitlin Clark said, finally someone did it. Like, she basically talked about being like, the refs need to protect the face of the league.
Her thing, and anything she needs from me, I'm going to be here. But again, I think that like just the competitor that I am, I'm fierce, I'm sassy. I stick up for my teammates, stick up for myself. And so sometimes I think that's okay to be feisty and to be yourself. But I'm excited to play in front of the fans. I think that she's drawn a lot of people, not only to Indiana, but to the women's game as a whole. And so just to be a part of something great, just really happy.
Over the past year, Sophie Cunningham has attracted enormous attention because of her public comments and on-court controversies. She has criticized officiating, faced fines, and repeatedly found herself at the center of heated discussions. Some fans believe she says what other players are afraid to say. Others believe her comments create unnecessary controversy. But one thing is undeniable. People are watching her.
They're starting to give it the push. This is the rollout. We got a clothing line coming before the holidays. Let's see how many resources Nike puts behind Caitlin Clark.
I think we already see the impact of the WNBA and then the impact that women's sports is having around the world, and why I believe we were able to get to the space where we got to is if you go back to the structure that I talked about earlier, and let's take basketball in this specific case, where we start with sport, the game of basketball, and then we go gender next. When we were running just basketball, we never got to the women's opportunity. But by having this small team,
that attention became even bigger when Sophie became connected to Caitlin Clark's world. Caitlin Clark is already one of the biggest commercial stars in women's basketball. Her Nike partnership has officially established her as one of the most important athletes in the sport. Wherever Caitlin Clark goes, the attention surrounding her is enormous, and the players around her often receive a completely different level of exposure.
Hey, you know what? At the end of the day, this is an entertainment business. I know a lot of people pay a lot of money to come and watch us play, and so we want them to have fun. And at the end of the day, I work my tail off in the off season, and now this is my fun. I want to go out there, I want to smile, I want to laugh, I want to get the crowd involved, and that's just who I am. I'm an energy player, and at the end of the day, I'm going to do whatever the team needs. But when you get this building popping, it's really hard to play here.
This is why the viral Sophie Cunningham story became so powerful. Fans began asking whether Caitlin Clark's influence could help elevate Sophie's profile. Could Sophie Cunningham's personality become attractive to major brands? Could her outspoken attitude become a marketing advantage? And could her connection to Caitlin Clark eventually lead to a major business opportunity?
That's old dog right there. Well, where you shoes at? We go play 1v1 me and you right now.
Sophie. And I was like, yeah. He goes, well, I'm from Detroit. I was like, oh, I heard it's beautiful.
So,
What?
I bet people shit on Kansas City all the time, though.
Yeah. We have some of the best barbecue hands down the whole country. Like, I'm sure there's so many gyms. I'm sure the people are amazing in those cities. I don't think people are fully understanding what we were talking about. And
Do
so
you want
now,
to give it one more shot?
no, because I said what I had to say.
Dude, go off.
And I'm not going to apologize because I fully believe that.
However, there is an important distinction that must be made. The claim that Sophie Cunningham has signed a confirmed $27 million Jordan brand deal has not been publicly verified by credible sources. There is also no confirmed evidence that Caitlin Clark personally arranged such a deal for Sophie. So while the claim has created massive attention online, it should be treated as speculation rather than confirmed news.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
But the fact that so many people believe the story immediately tells us something important. Fans already understand the enormous commercial power of Caitlin Clark. They have seen her become one of Nike's biggest basketball stars. They have seen her influence ticket sales, media coverage, and public interest in the WNBA. So when a story connected her to Sophie Cunningham and Michael Jordan, the idea instantly became believable to millions of people. Sophie Cunningham's popularity has not come from being a traditional, carefully controlled sports personality. Her appeal comes from the fact that she is unpredictable. She shows emotion. She plays aggressively.
She speaks her mind.
And when controversy follows her, she does not always step away from it. That became especially clear during the controversy surrounding her comments about WNBA officiating. Sophie publicly questioned the consistency of calls and later revealed that she had received fines connected to her comments. The situation created another wave of debate. Some fans criticized her for speaking too aggressively, while others praised her for challenging issues that many players preferred to avoid. But controversy can create something extremely valuable in modern sports: recognition. Every time Sophie Cunningham became involved in a major conversation, more people learned her name. She was no longer being discussed only for her statistics. She was becoming a personality. And then came the viral moment that pushed her popularity even further. During a heated situation involving Caitlin Clark and Wnba, Sophie Cunningham became part of a moment that exploded across social media. A short gesture and a few seconds of footage became a viral sensation. Fans discussed it, shared it, recreated it, and turned it into one of the most recognizable moments connected to Sophie. That moment demonstrated the power of modern sports culture. A player no longer needs to score 40 points to become a national story. Sometimes, one emotional moment can create more attention than an entire game. For Sophie Cunningham, that attention became part of her identity. She was no longer simply a basketball player. She was becoming a recognizable sports personality with a unique image and a loyal audience. The $27 million Jordan brand deal involving Sophie Cunningham has not been publicly confirmed. The claim that Caitlin Clark personally arranged the deal is also unverified. But the larger story is absolutely real. Sophie Cunningham has become one of the most recognizable personalities in the WNBA. Caitlin Clark has become one of the most commercially powerful athletes in women's basketball. And the combination of viral moments, major personalities, and growing brand interest is changing the way the WNBA is marketed. The biggest surprise may not be whether Sophie Cunningham has already signed a $27 million deal. And Sophie Cunningham has proven one thing clearly: whether people love her, criticize her, or argue about her, they're paying attention. For more breaking WNBA stories, major controversies, and the latest developments surrounding the biggest names in women's basketball, make sure you like this video, share it with other WNBA fans, and subscribe to the channel. The story is only beginning, and the next major WNBA shock could be closer than anyone expects.